Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to EEC Podcast, your favorite space to chill, reflect, and grow together. Today, we're diving into something that sounds a little intense, but trust me, it's also super exciting. It is competitive debating. No, hold on. Before you start, imagine two people shouting across a table with serious face and wild hand gesture. Let me stop you there because today's episode is not just about the competition. It is also growth, courage, and discover your voice in the process. Yep, this is one for anyone who's ever been curious about debate, scared to speak, or just want to sharpen their thinking and communication skills. And guess what? We're not going to make it scary. We're going to keep it relaxed like a fun chat over coffee. So, to help us unpack all this, we have a special guest, someone who's no stranger to debate round, late night prep, and of course, losing and winning with style. Please welcome Salwa from Faculty Economic and Business School. Hi Salwa, how you're feeling today?
Well, I'm feeling great today.
What was the highlight of your week so far?
So I spent my whole week in Bandung, in my hometown, because I need to go to the hospital for my teeth. And it's pretty good because I can spend my whole week in Bandung because I oftenly face homesick here. So yeah, it's really great. And thank you for having me in this podcast. I'm really glad to be here, guys. And it's an honor for me to be here as your guest speaker in this podcast.
Thank you. Let's move on to first our section. Let's be real. When most people hear about debate, they thinking of arguing, being aggressive, or winning at all costs. But I want to start by asking, what's debate actually about? Why should a student, someone with already got class to attend, deadline to meet, and maybe a club meeting or two, actually consider joining a debate club? And Salwa, maybe you can share what made you say yes to debate in the first place. Was it love at first class or more like, what did I just sign up for?
Okay, so honestly, I chose to join debate at first just because out of my curiosity about debate itself. And I just wanted to try it. But once I fell into it, I found like two strong reasons to stay motivated in debate. And initially, I was torn between focusing on Indonesians or English debate. But after some research, I found that Indonesian debate tends to be much stricter than English debate, especially in terms of formal languages. Even though we are in the faculty level competitions, uh, Indonesian debating required us to use formal language when we start the debate, while English debate, they are like not required us to use formal language in English because they know that English it's not our first language, it's not our mother tongue. It might be our like second language or third language as well. So we are not as fluent as native speaker, but it's not like we can use the slang words or like daily English, but it's less formal than Indonesian debate. So I choose English debate for it because I think it's way more easier, but it's not. And since I'm a part of an international class in the Faculty of Economic and Business, but most of my peers, they are done like to use English in daily life conversations, and they are not willing to do that. So I struggled to find opportunities to practice my speaking skills as often as I can, and debate gave me the platform to practice my speaking as often as I can and challenge myself to think and communicate effectively in English.
Okay, I love how you start just wanting to give it a try. Without any grand expectation, your willingness to experiment, and then stay motivated once you discover what the bet got over is exactly the spirit we hope to encourage in our audience. Let's move on to next our section. Now, let's go little deeper. People often say the deep bet builds confidence. But what kind of confidence we are talking about? It's being loud or always being right? Or maybe something more subtle, like being able to say, I disagree, but here's why, and still be respectful. Have you ever felt like the bet taught you something you didn't expect, maybe about yourself or the way you see others?
Okay, so debate has definitely given me new experiences, insights, and knowledge, and it taught me how to approach about an issue not only by from the two sides but from multiple perspectives. Because in debate, every team brings their own line of argumentation, so it's not just about who's right, but whose argument provides the best resolutions for the issue. And for example, I once debated the motions about this house belief that it's morally justified for you to write letters of last resort to retaliate rather than not retaliate. So in these motions, we had to role play as the world leaders as well. And in the tense of wartime scenario. So letter of the last resort itself about the letter you write to send your rival country a nuclear or not. And we know that the options there is no like truly right or wrong decisions because both options about retaliating or not come with a huge consequences in the end of the war. But that's the point of debating. It's not about being objectively right, but about building the strongest moral and logically justified about your argument for your actions and your decisions about some issues. So debate it's not to find someone really right about something, but it's to find someone who can give a decisions about some issues, and the arguments of behind it can be morally justified and it makes sense for all of us that.
All right. Your comparison between Indonesian and English debate format is was insightful. It has helped everyone understand that debate isn't one size fits all activity, and that's fine. The style that fits you can make all the difference. And your example of the letter of the last resort was beautiful. Show how debate push your beyond simple yes or no answer into deeper moral reasoning. Next section is a skill you carry off for life. Let's talk about your skill. You know, testing every some resume and LinkedIn profile breaks about. In debate, you practice speaking, sure, but what the other invisible skills that people don't talk about as much? The management, thinking under the pressure, teamwork, and honestly, how do those things help outside to the tournament room, like in class presentation, interview, or even in personal relationship?
Okay, so one of the most underrated skills that I've gained from debating is the ability to think quickly under the pressure.
Yes.
Obviously, but from the moment the roll call starts and then to building a case, and we listening to the opposing teams about their argument, and after that we crafting the rebuttals for that arguments. All of that require fast thinking, and this was honestly difficult for me at first, especially since I had no prior debate experience before. Still, but I did my best to quickly come up with arguments while recalling information I had read or learned before. And that skill has really helped me and the other areas too, like when I'm presenting or being interviewed and get asked unexpected questions. So from debates, I've learned to handle those situations more smoothly and respond more effectively rather than before I know about debate.
That's cool. Thank you for highlight how debate taught you to think quickly under the pressure, whether it's handling an unexpected interview question or summarizing a complex idea on the spot. The split-second thinking skill really are invaluable in so many aspects of life. Next section is winning, losing, and everything in between. Okay, let's be honest. Winning feels amazing. There's that sweet moment when your name gets called and the room claps and boom, validation. But we all know that the bet doesn't always go our way. How to deal with lose, especially when you really give it your all? What has losing taught you about growth, and how do you stay motivated after a tough round?
Okay, so losing for me has been a huge part of learning process. So I'm not some kind of person that is prodigy who wins competitions right away, and I've lost, but those losses didn't discourage me. If anything, they made me want to improve because competing in offline debate tournament exposed me to so much things about debate itself. Seeing experienced debaters as well as fellow first timers like me taught me what good arguments sound like and how to manage our nerves when we try to speak our arguments, our thoughts about the motions and how we deliver our points clearly, even though our voice was shaking when we deliver about it. And I won't lie that every round it's really tough and mentally draining because we were constantly forced to think critically and logically without any rest. And personally, the silent round is the hardest one because I have to facing strong teams and not knowing the result until the end of the competitions. So if we want to know about the results of silent round, we have to like directly asking to the judges in the end of the competitions. And the emotions itself in the silent round, it's also so challenging. I don't know why in the silent round they choose the hardest motions. So it's really like, oh my god, I need to face strong teams and also the motion also hard. So yeah, it's really hard to give like strong argument in the silent rounds. And the things that keeps me motivated in debating is the desire to give my best even though I lost because this is my first time to competing in like offline competitions. And so losing is normal, it's not like unnormal situations. And the most important thing is the knowledge that I gain from the competitions like during and the end of the competitions.
Your honestly about lose being a part of the process is so encouraging. It's powerful to remind our listener to set back around failures. Their opportunity to learn, adapt, and come back stronger next time. All right, next section. Here's a slightly more personal question. How have you changed as a person since the first time you debate? Are you more patient now? Or maybe more thoughtful about the world? Because to me, debate isn't just about become better at talking. It's about become better at thinking, connection, and sometimes even understanding in the silence.
Okay, so now I feel like I've become more thoughtful about some issues that's happening in the world. I find myself reading more about the current events and trying to connect the dots about it to really understand what's going on what's going on beneath the surface. So I've tried to do some research about the issue first, and I try to read so many perspectives about that issue, so I can know what's really going on about that issue. So yeah, I think debate has taught me about to be more thoughtful and to be see some issues in so many perspectives that I could find.
Hearing how debate has made you more thoughtful about work event and driven you to stay informed showed that this activity doesn't just sharpen your speaking, but transform the way you engage with the world around you. Next section, dare to speak even when you're afraid. Let's go to back the title of this episode, dare to speak. That word dare implies courage because let's face it, speaking up isn't always easy, especially in the room full of strangers and when your voice shake. So, Salwa, what would you say to someone who's curious about debating but too scared to try?
So the only thing that I can say or I can tell to anyone who's curious about debating but scared to try is so simple. Just try it because I'm the kind of person who jumps into the thing spontaneously. So I'm just like, okay, I curious about these things and I want to try it, and I try it and I do it. So when I find it's not my thing, that's okay. I will leave it. And when I find this is my things, I will stick in it and keep growing. And that feels so. For anyone who want to try it, just try and just do it. And when you find it's your thing, yeah, just stick with it and keep growing. And if you think that it's not your kind of thing, yeah, it's okay. Just leave it and find something else.
Your advice to just try is simple yet profound. Jump in, seeing whether it fits, and then deciding to stay or move on. That's the mindset that turns curiosity into real. I'm sure many listeners will feel brave enough to take that first step because of that what you scare. Wow, that's amazing, Salwa. We went from the fear to speaking up and all the way to embracing debate as the tool for growth, connection, and even self-discovery. Thank you so much, Salwa, for sharing your insights, your struggle, and of course, your funny prep room stories with us. To all our listeners out there, remember this. You don't need to be loudest in the room to make your voice matter. So dare to speak, dare to grow, and dare to try, even when you're scared. Until next time, this has been Selma Octaviani on the EEC podcast. Take care, stay curious, and keep speaking your truth. See you next episode.